James Bond is one of cinema and literature's most famous and iconic characters, and the prestigious responsibility of playing 007 has only been bestowed upon 6 actors since 1962. But ultimately, it was Daniel Craig who changed the character forever. Originating from Ian Fleming's novels and short stories, we associate James Bond with being a charming and invincible secret agent who is often faced with world-saving missions against evil villains and their henchmen, along with fast cars, gadgets, and various relationships with women. While the films have adjusted to trends and society's landscape over the decades, from the Cold War era to the rise of technology, the character of Bond never really changed. He would defeat the villain, get the girl, and in the next movie he'd walk into M's office and be on to the next mission. It wasn't until Daniel Craig's Casino Royale that the element of time was introduced, and in doing so the character was able to be propelled through a complete character arc and his motives could be developed and humanized. Notably, after the release of Die Another Day, the film's creators Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson not only wanted to recast the role, but wanted to completely redefine the character.
Also, I think with Daniel Craig, we've been able to really explore Bond's emotional life and the conflicts within him, and really have a much sort of deeper relationships with the other characters. So I think all of that has sort of contributed to making the films feel much more contemporary.
The franchise has a ritual where all potential Bond actors are asked to play the same scene in From Russia with Love, where Bond finds a Russian agent naked in his bed. When auditioning, Daniel Craig went back to Fleming's Moonraker novel and decided to pursue a darker version on the persona that had been on screen for 30 years, where he is cold, messed up, and human. In Casino Royale, Bond is the center of the movie and its plot, not the villain or the exotic mission. An awesome video analysis by Lessons from the Screenplay describes how the action in the film's first act exposes who Bond really is. A blunt instrument who is arrogant, reckless, and driven by ego.
This may be too much for a blunt instrument to understand, but arrogance and self-awareness seldom go hand in hand.
You're reckless. Take the next one. There isn't enough room for me and your ego.
He destroys anything in his way and puts his body on the line in the process, where we finally see the character really get injured. He gets mistaken for a parking valet, he's not flirting with Moneypenny, there's no Q gadgets, and there's barely any one-liners. Another amazing video by Pentex Productions highlights how other characters challenge Bond and his motives, such as Vesper. Notably, the stairwell and shower scenes show us a Bond deeply impacted by his traumatic job. We see him subtly crying as he washes out a dead man's blood, staring at himself in the mirror and reflecting on his actions, and comforting a distraught Vesper. It's this relationship with Vesper that causes him to sacrifice his life to save her, and even leaves his job with the MI6 to pursue his love for her.
You do what I do for too long, and there won't be any soul left to salvage.
Only to be betrayed and then break down upon her tragic death. While Quantum of Solace isn't the greatest film in the franchise, we still see a mirthless Bond struggling with his personal demons and dealing with grief. Finally, we then get to Skyfall and see the character's growth from the opening scene, where he's matured beyond just being a killing machine, trying to help an agent instead of merely carrying on with the mission. After a thrilling chase sequence, we see Bond get shot multiple times, and this is one of the few times he's severely wounded. Over the 24 movies, it's been calculated that James Bond has been shot at over 5,000 times and killed over 200 enemies, yet usually he's knocked out or drugged. After his injury, he drinks to numb his pain. He can't look at himself and he doesn't say a single word. He feels betrayed by M for ordering Moneypenny to take the shot and is broken by what he's suffered. He struggles with his firing and fitness tests, and his word associations show someone severely impacted by the line of duty and troubled by his past.
Heart. Target.
Murder.
Employment.
Skyfall.
Done.
This is where Craig really humanized Bond and made him vulnerable. In Shanghai, he doesn't kill his target straight away, and he recognizes fear and a troubled soul in Severin rather than merely trying to seduce her as he might have done in the previous films. Like Vesper in Casino Royale, it's Silva that challenges Bond in Skyfall. Brilliantly played by Javier Bardem, we see a mirrored version of Bond that has suffered the same traumatic experiences of being an MI6 agent.
Pathological rejection of authority based on unresolved childhood trauma.
Later, we hear from Kincaid about how Bond reacted to the death of his parents by hiding in a priest hole for 2 days, where he later came out a man. This makes you feel sorry for the character as someone who's been through it all and used his job to mask his inner pain. We also experience the gravity of the danger he puts himself in, seeing the fear in his face as Silva blows up his family's home. And finally, with the tragic death of M, he breaks down and has lost nearly everyone he's loved. No longer is Bond an unstoppable force impervious to all danger and adversity. With little growth in Spectre, and while No Time to Die is yet to release in Australia, there's no doubt Daniel Craig has changed the character and ideology of James Bond. While iconic, the Bonds of Connery, Lazenby, Moore, Dalton and Brosnan never really explored the character's origins. When you really peel back the layers, Bond is an orphan. He's human, he loves, he suffers, and he's not invulnerable. Over 5 movies and a 15-year character arc, Daniel Craig was able to develop and grow the character, showing us the human being behind the myth of James Bond and changing him forever. Thanks for watching this episode of Cinemaze. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and let me know what you thought down in the comments. Also, please let me know which characters you would like me to do next.